All eyes right now are understandably on Marvel because we got probably what are going to be the two biggest films of the year. Um, let me there we go. The two biggest films of the year. We got Spider-Man, Brand New Day is on its way. And, we were just looking at some numbers here, guys, that said that they're lowball now. The major trades are saying the lowball opening weekend is going to be 180 to 190 million dollars. So probably over 200, which is crazy.
What a failure.
What an absolute abject failure this is going to be. So that, and then of course we got Avengers Doomsday, and then we got Avengers Secret Wars. But what's coming after Secret Wars? What do they got? Well, this is one that we're going to have to put under the category of the rumor mill, because this is not something, what we're about to talk about here, let me be flush off the top, is not something that has been officially confirmed by Marvel, by Kevin Feige, by anybody involved. But there are reports, you've probably seen them whispering around online here the last 24 hours or so, that Marvel has targeted 7 priorities, 7 movies that are going to be priorities for them immediately following Avengers Secret Wars. So, again, file this one into rumor mill, but it is one that's being whispered about a lot. So let's, for the sake of fun movie fan discussion, just for the sake of movie fan discussion, let's talk about these picks, what we agree with, what we don't think is going to be there, some things that we think are missing. So let's take a look at it. So right now, there's 7 films we're talking about. One is obviously a next Avengers movie, that they're already planning and thinking about their next Avengers movie. The other one, is Spider-Man 5. They're saying there's going to be another Spider-Man. Then the one I've been waiting for, for years now, is Shang-Chi 2, is one of their other big priorities. Shang-Chi 2, that's a totally different movie. Shang-Chi 2 is the porn version that you will find over on Pornhub, I'm sure, of that. So Shang-Chi 2 is going to be one of them in there as well. Obviously, we know the X-Men is going to be one of them. The next one up that they're saying is a Thunderbolts sequel. Now, this one makes a lot of sense to me, guys, because the way they've set them up and who they are and what they are and the role they're going to be playing going into the Avengers, particularly Secret Wars, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised at all. And I'm glad, because I loved Thunderbolts. I absolutely love that movie. So let's go back over here. So there's those. Then another one they're saying is Blade. Sure. But they're saying Blade. And then this is the one that gets some people attention. Midnight Suns. So those are the 7 films that they're saying is going to be what's going to be their priority moving forward. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to take a look at that list. For people who are thinking that the Marvel Cinematic Universe just reboots after Secret Wars, this kind of flies in the face of that, right? Like, if this is true, which we are not representing that it is true, this is just what's being said around, and we're just discussing it for fun. But all of this, like, other than Midnight Suns, the next Avengers, Spider-Man 5, Shang-Chi 2, Thunderbolts 2, I mean, we've been expecting an X-Men. This kind of flies in the face of the full reboot idea that some people had. But it's also leaning back on some things that are pretty reliable. Rob, you look at this list. Do you think this is the next 7 films we're getting? Which ones do you question? Do you think there's 1 or 2 that's being left out? Because I'll tell you one that's kind of ominous by its absence is the lack of another Doctor Strange movie in there. Especially
or a Fantastic Four movie.
Or another Fantastic Four movie. So you see this list. What do you think about it?
Well, it's interesting because obviously the multiverse must end. We know from the Secret Wars comic that they're adapting that Doom creates Battle World. And whatever comes out of Battle World is going to be a new universe. I would suspect that whatever they're going to do is similar to what happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic. When the DC universe was given one Earth, you had people, their backgrounds were changed, but they were the same people. And then there's going to be like the 616 never had the X-Men, you had people that were suffering from mutations like Miss Marvel, but there was no, we haven't seen the X-Men, so the X-Men could be a direct result of what happens at the end of Secret Wars. So I would imagine we're going to get a hybridization of both old and new. And I've also heard that what they also want to do is take our old school characters like Steve Rogers, like because old man Steve had to come back and give the shield back to Anthony Mackie at some point after the events of Doomsday and Secret Wars. But I would imagine that like Thor, Captain America, they'll probably, and who are we kidding? You think they're not going to bring Tony Stark back? They're going to bring Tony Stark back. And they'll be like the Illuminati in the new universe.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but I forgot there was another one that I totally forgot was a part of the report, which is obvious because we know they're making it. They have confirmed this, is Black Panther 3. So I forgot to include that one. So I threw it in there on the list now, guys. So sorry. I caught that because some of you mentioned in there about that. So sorry, Rob. Go. I just wanted to correct myself. I was just going to
say, I think it's all exciting. All this makes perfect sense to me. Because why you're not going to get rid of Tom Holland Spider-Man when he's your top grosser for you. And obviously in the comic book world, they can do anything. So this doesn't surprise me at all.
What about you, Nadia? You see this list. So again, obviously another Avengers. Obviously at some point we're getting that. Spider-Man 5, Shang-Chi 2, X-Men, Thunderbolts 2, Blade, Midnight Suns, Black Panther. I mentioned that one that's kind of missing for me is a Doctor Strange. The other one that there has been talk about is another Thor. Like Chris Hemsworth has kind of implied that they are going to do another Thor, but it's not been mentioned in these reports. Anyway, what do you think about the list? And is there any others that you think might be missing from there?
They fundamentally changed the Kree and the Skrulls. There were so many things that have to be like retracted or fixed or changed. So maybe Secret Wars would fix that. In terms of those specific ones, what I'm excited for, if we were to get Midnight Suns, they could bring back Doctor Strange. We could finally get our recast of Ghost Rider. Maybe they'll bring in Morbius. We could get Man-Thing. We could get Dr. Voodoo, which a lot of people are waiting for. And Blade. If we do get Blade, maybe they'll do Midnight Suns after. But who knows? Because Blade has been in talk for like half a decade already, I feel like, or longer. So I don't know. I really want to see Blade still. But I think Midnight Suns is something they could do to tap into all these different pieces that are kind of missing. In terms of Spider-Man 5, obviously, I think Spider-Man's always one of the biggest sells. I think no matter what, people are going to do Spider-Man. Thunderbolts, I would love to see a sequel, and as well as Shang-Chi 2. Same, I've been waiting forever for that, and I think he truly deserves it. And Thor, we do not need another one at all. If we do, please go back to something serious. I am tired of it being too jokey, and it's not even funny anymore. It's just knocking yourself on the head. And then Black Panther, I would love to see Damson Idris. He's been like rumored, a cast rumor, and he's phenomenal. If you've never seen Snowfall, it's one of the best shows ever, and that should have won nominations. But if we do get another Black Panther, I would absolutely love him to play that role, and I think it would be an honor to bring him back. And I think that's something that we would like to see.
You know, there is one on this list because I can see all this happening. Like, well, I have my doubts that Blade is ever going to happen, but there's that. But obviously another Avengers, obviously Spider-Man, obviously Shang-Chi 2, obviously X-Men, Thunderbolts 2, awesome. I don't think they're going to do Midnight Suns. I just don't. I don't see how they... Well, yeah, on a couple levels. Like, number one, I don't see how they can believe that would be box office success. Because who's your main guy in that? Like, Moon Knight? I mean,
yeah,
it would be interesting if they decided to bring in Morbius, which I don't think Sony would have any problem at this point letting Marvel try to redeem Morbius. But I just don't see them doing it.
They should make it a Disney Plus series, because I think if they make it television, that's something that could also work, because remember the short series for the Werewolf by Night was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think maybe make it a sequel. Somehow tie it in, maybe even like they did with the Punisher, like a one shot. That could possibly be a way to introduce some of these characters, like maybe, like I said, like Ghost Rider. We want a new Ghost Rider, maybe have him appear in a one shot for Midnight Suns. I think that's a way that it could work instead of a full movie.
All right, guys, Question is for you. What do you think about this? You saw the reports going around talking about what the priority movies are for Marvel coming out of Secret Wars. Now, we can't attest to their validity. They may or may not be true, but the reports are going around. We just thought it would be fun to talk about as long as you have that caveat. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.